The advantage of using this method is that you can take your drawing, scan it in, even make changes digitally if you want, then print it out on a nice sheet of paper. I personally like to use Strathmore Bristol 500 series if I can, but I've used 300 series for smaller paintings and it's fine. Then you mount your printed drawing onto a board. I like to use DaVinci Pro panels from Jerry's Artarama, and then I paint right on top of my print. This preserves my original drawing for sale, but it also makes an excellent reference point to return to if you, like me, ever feel like you've lost your painting. Looking back on that drawing just helps solidify where you were trying to go and what you were trying to do. I personally like to paint on board because it serves as a nice flat support that is easy to turn and stands up to abuse throughout the painting process. When you're done, it's very easy to frame. So that's why you would use this method. Let's get to the how. The first thing you'll need is a basin filled with water, a clean board or surface for drying, and a sponge. After printing out your drawing, let it dry properly so the inks set into the paper. Then you will need to wet the paper. The steps are simple. Slide the paper through the basin, getting it wet with water, then set it out to dry, removing any of the excess water, and give the paper time to absorb the water and dry just a bit. This usually takes around 5 to 10 minutes. If you skip this step, you risk forming bubbles in the paper during the next phase of the mounting process. This is the same thing that watercolor artists do to stretch their paper in order to avoid their paper curling or bubbling when painting with water media. While you let that dry, let's get our materials ready for the next step. You're going to need paper towels, a wide, soft brush, a cloth rag or a stack of extra paper towels, a clean roller, and Liquitex acrylic matte medium. You'll want to place your artboard on a flat surface. I use 2 sawhorses for their versatility and ease of storage. I also recommend you put down a drop cloth as this will get messy. Take your matte medium and sprinkle your board with it. Don't overdo it as most of it will get removed. Then use a brush to evenly spread out the medium. If you need to add more, you can, and if you put down too much, now is the time to get it off. Now is the moment of truth. Go and grab your printed drawing and carefully place it on your board. If you need to, you can pull up the edges and replace where the drawing is on your board. You must get it exactly where you want it as the matte medium acts as a glue. When you are done and this is dry, there is no repositioning anything. Once you have your drawing in the right place, use the roller to secure it to the board. Starting in the middle gently but firmly, push the roller across the surface, slowly working out from the middle of your board out to the edges. You will find that some excess matte medium gets pushed out the sides, but you can come back later and use your brush to clean that out. Also, don't worry if some of the matte medium gets on your roller, it's fine, or if it gets on the surface. In the next step, we're going to apply matte medium to the surface anyway. Grab your brush again and run it along the edges of your board, collecting the excess matte medium. Then take that extra matte medium and put it right on top of your drawing. Next, you're going to sprinkle just a little bit of matte medium onto your artboard, and then use your brush to evenly spread it out across your printed drawing. At this point, I like to pick up the artboard and bring it level with my eyes so that I can confirm that there are no bubbles or inconsistencies with the surface. It would be a pain, but we can still redo things at this stage by carefully peeling up our drawing if we needed to. That is the advantage of using a nice thick paper so it holds up. You can see here that I wanted to smooth out the edges a little bit more and make sure that I didn't have any bubbles. Again, this is the time to make it perfect. Alright, so we let the board dry overnight and everything is looking good. Because the paper stretches slightly when it absorbs water, there are often bits that hang off the edge. All you need to do is bring your board over to your cutting table and carefully trim off the excess bits with a sharp X-Acto blade. The next thing you need to do is gently sand down the artboard with a fine grade of sandpaper. I like to use 400 grade. Make sure the surface is nice and smooth and use a wet paper towel to remove any remaining dust. Then bring your artboard back out to your surface and drop cloth. We're going to apply another layer of matte medium. At each stage, you're going to let it dry, sand it down, and then wipe it clean. Usually only a few hours between coats is all you need. I like to paint with 3 coats of matte medium because that's the surface that feels right to me, but you can do as few as 2 coats or as many as you want. The more coats of matte medium that you add, the smoother the surface will get. I first learned this method from the artist Donato Giancola, and I absolutely love it. When you're done, you get to keep both your original drawing and your original painting. I like to use a nice thick board for ease of handling my painting during the painting process. I think you'll like it too. Give it a try, and please share your results with me or any other tips you might have for mounting your drawings to a board in the comments below. I'd like to thank all the people over at the Fateful Signs Patreon. They make videos like this possible. You all are amazing. Thank you. If you enjoyed this video, please head over to fatefulsigns.com and sign up for the newsletter. You'll get a free PDF copy of the first chapter from the illustrated Havamal when you sign up. Thank you.